Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder, Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me. Today, I'm going to talk about transportation to and from the prison, to other prisons, to and from the prison to, the hospital or whatever it may be. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because Thursday, I was just taken to the local clinic for a consultation on the tumors in my lower back, which he said most of them he's not concerned with, but 2 of them he is concerned with, so he went ahead and scheduled me for surgery and a biopsy on those 2 tumors, which will be sometime within the next few weeks, I would guess. But, I'll do a further update on that once I've already had the surgery and I've got the results back and everything, then I'll let y'all know what's going on. But I want to focus on the transportation because it was, I got my prayer. Because the state of Virginia has 2 types of vans for when they do transportation. You have the good van. And while it does have the metal grates on all of the windows and separating the drivers from the inmates, you've got the comfortable, real van seats, with the leather and the cushioning and all that. And they got holes in the grill so you can see out the window. You got an excellent view. And thank God that was the van that I got. Because the second van they have is just a straight panel van. And inside the van, it's just a metal box with 2 metal seats in there. 2 little metal benches, And you can't see out of it. You can barely breathe. And it freaking sucks. You get thrown all over the place. You're constantly sliding around, so you have to spread your feet as far as the shackles will allow you and kind of lean back into it the whole way there just to keep from being tossed around like a damn rag doll. And, there's no cushioning there. It just freaking sucks. It's horrible. In today's day and age, they can get away with putting somebody in a steel box, being transferred to an outside medical facility. And the only time they're going to, let me tell you something, people, the only time that prisons in the state of Virginia, their medical departments will send an inmate to a doctor or hospital or dentist on the street is when God himself comes down and gets involved and makes these people do it. Like, you have to be on death's door damn near to get sent out. And then transportation will throw you in a freaking steel box for an hour or 2 hours, depending on how long it takes you where you're going. It's completely inhumane treatment. But thank God I got the good van, and it was very bittersweet because I haven't had a view like that in I don't know how long. Because the windows up here are frosted over. You can't see out. Even when you go outside on the rec yard, the only thing you can see is the tops of the trees and whatnot. You can't see, like, the details of the ground and stuff like that. You can't really see wildlife except for some birds that nest on top of the prison lights. But, I was sitting there just looking at all of the trees, and it's fall, so the leaves are turning red and gold and orange and brown, and it's just incredibly beautiful out there. We're down here in the mountains, and mountains have always been my favorite geography. I'll take the mountains over the beach any day. So just being able to see the trees, to see cows on the side of the road, and to see people's houses, to see people out walking around, and see stores and cars driving and cars parked, and seeing how people lived. Most of y'all take that for granted because it's just, y'all have never lost that. Y'all have always had that. It's just part of the background. But for me and guys in prison, like, when we come back, like, we don't talk about what happened in the operating room of the hospital. We talk about what we saw. Like, that's the first conversation we have when we talk to, our homeboys or those we hang out with when we come back from a trip like that. Like, yo, man, what'd you see? What did it look like out there? The hell, did you have a view? It's very, very poignant. It truly gives you an appreciation when you don't get to see that every day. When it's not a part of the background, like it's the main feature. And that's what it felt like. I was watching a movie. And it reminds you of everything that you lose. They stopped by and they got themselves lunch because that was the time that they picked me up was right around 12 o'clock. Take me there and they stopped at Wendy's and they got themselves some food to eat for lunch. And of course I didn't get nothing, but I don't really care about that. But just smelling the chicken nuggets from Wendy's, like, I mean, it brought back so many memories. I remember one time when me and my brother Linwood were, I think we was coming back from work one day. This is in between Beaumont Juvenile Prison and adult prison. And I was working with him, and he stopped by, and he got a 20-piece nuggets and reached over and stole a couple of them, of course, because that's what you do to your brother. And just like it reminded me, just the smell of that reminded me of that and brought back those memories of just me and him working together and talking and laughing and acting stupid, because we used to take 3/4-inch conduit and we would cut them down into 2-foot lengths, and then we would take drywall screws and we would screw them through the up underneath the bottom and through the top of the wing nuts and wire nuts that you use to clamp down on the wires when you have to splice them together. And we would put them in there, and we would sit there and use them as blow darts, and you'd sit there and have like an inch of screw stuck through your chest or something. You'd have to pull it out. Like, we used to do that stupid stuff, blow guns with one another, and it just reminded me of that, just seeing all of this stuff, and I like, man, yeah. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, it's bittersweet. Like, I was so incredibly happy to see it, just to see trees, just to see grass on the ground, to see dirt, and just looking at it. And I just I can only imagine myself walking through it. What it would feel like to like touch a tree, hell, hug a tree, because I probably would hug a tree. To be honest with you, I'd probably climb one, but. Like, it makes you wonder about that sort of stuff. It makes you think about all that you've lost when you get that little trip. And it feels good and sad at the same damn time. Like, you got these conflictions of emotions that, which one do you go with? And the fact of the matter is, you really have no choice. You kind of swing back and forth like a pendulum. One minute it gets you sad, the next minute it makes you happy. And I've been on bus rides across the state where you can see everything. And I've been on bus rides across the state where you can't see nothing, and you're just strapped in there with nothing to see, nothing to do. It's terrible that they take your eyesight away from you. That some of the things that they do in here, they do to deliberately blind you. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand how these people can call themselves humans, and they allow our windows to be frosted over. And I mean, I understand that, yeah, back in the day, you had some guys would get up in the window with their penis in their hands and masturbate on some of the women who works in administration when they would walk laps during lunchtime around the prison. Hey, look, it's easy to tell what cell is which. It's easy to tell what part is which. I mean, it's incredibly simple. You just write the person in charge. You don't take everybody's eyesight from them. You don't blind the entire prison because of 2 or 3 people. But that's what they do here in DOC. If one person, that's all it takes, one person, and they will punish 40,000 people for what one person does. Instead of just writing that person in charge, instead of just taking it from that person, they take it from every single other person. It just makes me think about all this stuff when I get that little trip outside. You wonder, man, who was that person? Because I saw a couple of people walking, up the sidewalks, and Wondering, okay, who is this person? What is their background? They have people that love them. Do they have a home? What kind of home do they have? Do they have a job? How come they're not at work? Excuse me. How come they're not at work right now? How come they're not driving? I was sitting here wondering about all of these different people. It really makes you think when you go on one of these trips. Sometimes you have some good people with you. You can laugh and talk. Sometimes you get that asshole that just want to cause problems, and all you want to do is just slip the handcuffs and punch him in the mouth to shut him up. And then punch him 3 or 4 more times to teach him a damn lesson, and then 5 or 6 more times just because he got on your nerves and made you slip the cuffs and punch him in the first damn place. And then, well, you might as well not stop because you've already gone this far. Like them type of assholes. And oh my God, they make life so miserable. Oh, they make life so miserable, especially if you get stuck with them in the box. If you're in that steel box with one, it ruins your entire year. And then most times, though, you're by yourself on a transport like that, unless you're getting transferred from prison to prison, and then you have a lot of people. But yeah, that's really all I can think of on a transportation angle. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I'm absolutely looking forward to going back for the surgery, beyond merely getting, the tumors cut out of my back and, having a biopsy to find out what kind they are and so on and so forth.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I just want the view again. As a matter of fact, for those of you who do pray that I get the good van again, because I'm certainly praying for it myself. This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on, and at least entertained you a little bit. For those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcast, I would truly appreciate if you would review me and rate me, preferably 5 stars, but unless you think I'll get a big hit, give me 4 instead. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.